Coming to the main screen now is my dear colleague and friend, Director Anna Lasso. Director Lasso leads the Department of General Services, which serves as the business manager for the state of California, with over 3,500 employees and a budget of more than $1 billion. DGS serves the public by providing a variety of services to state agencies through procurement, acquisition solutions, creative real estate management, design and innovation, and oh, so much more. DGS also serves as a control and oversight department to help protect the interests of the state of California. Our teams work very closely together in the same ecosystem, supporting small businesses and driving opportunity for them across the state. And I want to note that it's not just about small businesses, but we are very intentional about micro businesses getting a bite at the apple of opportunity under this administration. Bienvenida, mi querida amiga.
Gracias, Director Gray. Thank you so much for having me with you all this morning. It's exciting to see such great participation, and DGS is just very happy to represent, participate, and be of service to all of California.
Thank you for being with us today. I know how impacted your schedule is, so let's get to it. Governor Newsom's administration is supporting small businesses and promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion throughout government. How does your office work to support this priority?
It's a great question. And I just want to say that DGS continuously works to support this priority through its management of the state's small business and disabled veteran business enterprise certification programs for state contracting opportunities. It's not the only thing we do, but we do a lot more. But this program supports a 25% small business participation goal and a 3% disabled veteran business enterprise participation goal across all state contracting dollars spent annually. And through its Office of Small and Disabled Veteran Business Services, we call it OSDS, and there's a big alphabet soup. So I'll try to be clear about what I'm saying. The DGS Procurement Division supports certification of these businesses, outreach, training, and department advocacy programs that seek to assist small businesses with successful contracting opportunities. We work with over 144 state agencies and departments to ensure that the state's policies on inclusion of small and disabled veteran businesses in contracting opportunities is at the top of mind when determining the need for these goods and services and the type of procurement method to use that support these businesses. We recently established a focus on statewide supplier diversity program that will work to increase opportunities for diverse, small, and disabled veteran businesses. And like you said, Director Gray, micro enterprises throughout the state's contracting programs. To that end, DGS works with a myriad of stakeholders to ensure businesses have access to the information they need to establish and maintain business operations in the state, as well as opportunities to compete in state contracts that support the mission of departments and agencies. We partner with GoBiz to ensure small businesses have access to business training, financial assistance through grants, and information on upcoming opportunities in state contracting. And we also partner with the ethnic chambers of commerce across the state to ensure information on how to do business with the state is broadly disseminated to diverse businesses. Other things that we're doing, and this is very close of and top of mind of mine, because I think this is where you see a lot of the participation at the ground level, is that we have a small business advisory council, and others around the state provide critical feedback. So vendors who are going through these processes can give us feedback. They are able to compete and gain insight into the importance of the efficiencies that we're trying to implement across the state. And then On this, one of my favorite programs that we have is we offer a reciprocity program for local government entities to use the state's SBDVBE certification when awarding contracts. So let me explain a little bit about this reciprocity agreement. We have over 40 reciprocity partners, including municipalities, school districts, utility companies, and the University of California. What does this do? It allows the state's SBDVBE certification to be recognized over these 40 different municipalities, school districts, UCs. And so this has a ripple effect. It has added literally billions of dollars in opportunities across the state to firms who only have to certify with DGS, and yet that certification works with the other entities. So that's a lot of what we're doing in this space.
Wow, that reciprocity is real. I mean, access to billions of dollars. So, folks listening, you don't have to only come to the state. There are tons of other agencies across the state of California that are recognizing that DGS certification. So, Director Lasso, DGS manages a myriad of business services for the state and services for our public and private partners with access to state government, specifically procurement processes and tools.
Mhm.
What is DGS's mission and vision, and what are the goals? How is that aligned to promote small businesses? What are you currently focusing on? I know this is a complex question, right? But I know you've got it all up there. What are you
Sure.
guys focusing on? Sure, small businesses are included in all aspects of state contracting.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned it earlier in this fireside chat when you introduced me, but I'll say it again. DGS's mission is to serve as the business manager for the state. We deliver results. We provide timely, cost-effective services and products that support our customers while protecting the interests of the state. And our customers are both internal stakeholders, like departments and agencies, as well as external stakeholders. Our vision is excellence in the business of government. And that's many of the products and branches. So procurement is one of the largest branches and products that we offer, but we have many more. And we strive to achieve excellence by providing our customers with products and services they need in a professional and value added way. What does that mean? So let me break that down a little bit. Our mission and vision through our strategic goals is achieved by ensuring that SBDVB firms have access to training on how the state does business through extensive outreach and partnerships. We develop and manage tools such as the state's online marketplace, critical to all the vendors out there. Cali Procure is where contract opportunities are advertised and where the transaction occurs. So very important. I'm going to underscore Cali Procure is an online marketplace. Businesses can opt in to receive notice of upcoming solicitations and contract resources are offered, as well as providing support to our state departments in identifying available certified firms to compete on state contracts. So both the public can go to Cali Procure and our departments can go to Cali Procure, and they meet there in terms of identifying what's available to either. Um, our goals further align with DGS's efforts to promote the use of small and disabled veteran businesses in state contracting operations through state procurement methodologies available to all state departments. Remember, I mentioned that goal of 25% for small business and 3% for DVBE. So when you use the SBDVBE option, it allows departments to secure quotes directly from those firms and award contracts based on low cost and best value. Really important. I used to be in a different department and I saw this tool to be very useful when awarding contracts under $10,000 directly to SB and DBE firms by validating the pricing as fair and reasonable. This for departments both streamlines the procurement process that are, sometimes cost effective and timely and lengthy, and it allows for increased awards directly to SB and DVB firms without this lengthy, costly procurement process. Another strategic area that DGS is currently focusing on is its in-depth training for certified firms that will help increase the diversity of awards across the entirety of the certified vendor pool. The goal is to educate firms on state terms and conditions, administrative requirements, details of bidding, contract administration, and prompt payment. Because if you're a firm and you now understand that entire process, you have more ability to participate not only in that space or that contract that you were interested in, but in future contracts. So that training is critical. The program is currently in development and will be rolled out in the next year. And we continue to support and educate our state agencies and departments on the importance of inclusion of its diverse SB and DVBE firms in all aspects of state contracting. We offer departments the opportunity to implement an SB first policy as part of their commitment to inclusivity. The SB first policy helps departments streamline the procurement process for buyers and strongly requires procurement opportunities be fulfilled by our SB DVBE partners as much as possible.
Awesome. Now I know you are super tight on time this morning. Do we have time for one more question?
We sure do.
Okay. So, Director Lasso, tell us about some of the initiatives, programs, and projects that model this mindset that you're talking about and further promote the ecosystem of small business inclusivity and representation. How does DGS effectuate these concepts and put them into action?
This is by far my favorite because I think when we observe and we think about the things that need to happen and we think of policy that would be good, it's only as good as you can put it into action, right? And so when I came to DGS about a year and a half ago, this is where I leaned in and I said to all of the different branches, how do we take policy to action? How do we have full efficacy? How do we know if we're being effective? And not only that, how are we being equitable and diverse and inclusive? So glad you asked me that because I have some really great examples to share. With respect to equity, the administration, the Government Operations Agency, which I report into, are working with DGS to implement equity plans across all state departments that include recommendations for increasing the use of SB DVBE vendors in procurement opportunities with the state. So this is huge. I mean, not only are we driving it at DGS, it is now becoming a plan that departments are putting together for their goals too. These include plans for increased outreach of upcoming opportunities, varying the use of SB DVBE firms that have not done business with the state or with specific departments in the past. We want this diversity not only to show diversity, but also reach to those vendors that haven't had the opportunity. We're developing procurements in such a way that increase the ability for participation, and we're requiring less experience or breaking down contracts into smaller sizes that would allow for greater participation. In terms of diversity, in the state's vendor pool, DGS launched a new voluntary supplier diversity data collection opportunity for all new businesses registering with the state for current registered businesses. So bidders, vendors, suppliers, certified firms within the profile on CalEProcure. And the purpose of the diversity data collection is to allow the state to gain better understanding of registered certified business owners, their demographics related to ethnicity, race, gender, identity, and sexual orientation. And this information will be used to determine where outreach and support is needed among various communities. So we're really targeting outreach. It's not on the selection process, but this is to obviously support greater diversity and provide those tools and support in areas that we're seeing that require or need that extra umph. So today, 2,600 certified businesses have entered this data in the system. That's great. To enhance outreach to diverse businesses across the state, we have also developed an interactive online tool. It's a mapping tool called CalSAT, which overlays the domicile of these SBDVBE onto a map and identifies disadvantaged communities, the disadvantaged areas as defined by the federal government to determine where we have the greatest need. I love maps. They tell you a lot by looking at, the areas, and that's where we are identifying where we need to put a lot of our dollars in terms of outreach, additional training, and support. To support the continued economic recovery of this ecosystem of small businesses across the state, we are also working on the Target Area Contract Preference Act, known as TACPA. And TACPA was established many years ago to stimulate business investment in distressed areas of California and create job opportunities for Californians to improve the economic vitality of their communities. So any vendor that meets the definition of a TACPA California-based company whose bid is over $100,000 may apply for the Target Area Contract Preference Act preference. And this California preference program requires state contracts to be performed at work sites, not fixed by provisions of the contract, but in distressed areas by persons with a high risk of unemployment when the contract is for goods and services in excess of 100,000. So there's so many more projects that we're doing and that DGS is engaging on and launching, but I just wanted to share some of my favorite to ensure that equity and diversity is both in the vendor pool as well as in the contracting opportunities for departments. So these are just some of my few highlights for you this morning.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Director Lasso, for being with us and taking the time out to have this intimate conversation about your priorities at DGS. My heart is full. Thank you.
Thank you. Gracias.